you. You're tuned in to the Skirts Up Show with Samantha and Melissa.
Join our mission to normalize failure, but still uncover the positives at every twist and turn.
Skirts up. But keep your panties on.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to receive during this session. I'll start by putting one hand on your heart and the other on your stomach. I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, and clairsentient, meaning I can see movies in my head, I can hear conversations or full sentences, yeah. And the clairsentient is I just know. So throughout your session, I'm going to say, Samantha, I don't care what you say, I can feel this, I know it. And it literally is what I'm looking for is what's in your energy field, what is holding you back from ... Because you're saying, you know, like you get frustrated, or why does this keep happening, or how can I get to this other place that I want to be? And that's where the subconscious is holding you from being able to get to that place. Okay. So people come to me because I can shift that energy. I can shift what's in that blueprint of what's going on from your childhood, and that's usually from the childhood. It doesn't mean that you have emotionally or physically abusive parents. It's nothing like that. I mean, that could be part of someone's history, but it's not for everyone. And you could have an interaction with mom, she's on the phone, you're drawing her a picture, and this is an example. And then you say, okay, mom, I have this picture. Okay, Samantha, I'll be right with you. And she forgets. Then what ends up happening is that you determine, all right, what can I do to be seen and heard? And so then you start doing extra things in your life as a little girl. You start doing certain things to be seen, and however that looks like, right? But as an adult, you'll go to work and you're really organized and you're getting your job done, and then you realize, wow, your coworkers need some help, so you're like, hey, I can help you, and you help this one and you help that one. You go home and you're exhausted and you're like, why am I the only one working so hard? Well, it was because your mom didn't give you the attention you needed, quote unquote, at the time, and that you chose to say, I have to work harder. And that's what it shows up as an adult. You feeling like you're working harder than others. And that's just an example of many, many things. As something as simple as your mom forgetting to come back to you. Okay, so it's not all emotional and physical in our childhood. It's the things that we say we wanted at that time and didn't get. Okay, that's also your interpretation of what's going on in your surroundings as well. So there are 5 ways to pick up limiting beliefs. Mom and dad, or mom and dad like figures, like grandparents. God, someone else, and something else. You have a very strong mom block.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
Very strong mom block. And a block is the limiting belief. And I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to share with you. But when I start, I'm going to start with a hand on the stomach, hand on the heart, and then I'm just going to start breathing a certain way, and then I'm going to start seeing movies and hearing things, and I'm going to share it with you. Most of my things that I share is what I'm seeing, and then I might ask yes or no questions, and then I might say what's going on when you were at a certain age, because I'll pick that up as well. And there's a little fear in that too, so I just felt it. My stomach did a little ripple. Yeah, like, uh-oh, what's going to be shown today, right? All right, so you ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go. So your mom was very overprotective, huh? Yeah. And as a child, we'll think, oh, this is a safety zone. However, what can happen is that overprotective, especially moms, can give a child a sense of feeling a little reserved, or, well, I'll give you a list of them. Procrastination, the fear of making decisions, because what if it's wrong? taking too long to make a decision because you have to reel it in your head to figure out which direction you want to go in. So you're overanalyzing too much. Because when you have that protective parent, when it's overprotective, what I ended up seeing was energy wall, like right here, and it felt really tight, like, oh, she's got you under that protection bubble. And so you'll find yourself saying, and for you, oh, I can feel it, like there's some fear in your heart. So feelings of when it comes to love or loving something, not just a physical person. It can be a career. It could be, that a party you're organizing, you love it. You want to make sure it's all perfect and did I hit something?
Maybe just a little.
There you go. So, and that's how it can show itself up when you have an overprotective parent. And so you've worked through some of it, but if I gave it a score or a percentage, 80%, you're troubled. It's not free flowing enough for you. And you probably get frustrated with yourself with, here I am with this pattern. I'm trying to get out of my head, but I want it to be right. Can we get it right? Can we be it right? Is that right? Yeah. So I can feel it. But, everything is right. There's no right or wrong, even though, because what you do is you'll end up putting it in a box, meaning your end result. I want it to look like X, Y, and Z. But what happens if it's like better than what you're putting here, right? So let's say an example, if I do this job, I want to make $100. Well, what if you could make 100,000? You see? So we have to be more broader in what we're looking our end result to be. So meaning, if your end result was focused on an emotion, right? So give you an example. If you had $1 million in the bank, the emotion attached to that is comfort, is stability, is adventure, because we got it. We don't have to worry, if I get a flat tire, I can buy a new car, right? So we want to focus on the feeling of what you want your end result to be. And then everything around what you're trying to attract will naturally come with it, like you're a magnet. So if you're saying, I want my podcast to have, 1 million followers, then that's fun, excitement, laughter, dancing, and feeling accomplished, right? And feeling like you're giving back to the community and feeling like people are getting something out of it, which can feel a sense of enlightenment, fulfillment, gratitude, all of that, right? So before you have a project, have the feeling first. Go into it with that, you'll have your 1 million followers. It works just like that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You have a lot of fear. So the solar plexus is the portal of emotions, but I feel it so fast, I can't even move my hand fast enough. Yeah? And that is the feeling of fear when it's like, right? I'm not saying that a person walks around going, oh, I'm afraid, or like a little timid mouse. It's not like that. What happens is that you're living life, but having a sense of, will I, could I, should I? You're already questioning before it's even happening. Do you find yourself like?
Yeah. Okay.
So when you're questioning stuff, you're already causing a sense of fear. I feel that so much it just went right there in my solar plexus. Meaning, yes, you're spot on, right?
Yeah.
And so, don't question life, live life. Because if you're starting to step into things, even if you're not even thinking that you're stepping into, every moment that we walk, talk, move, you're stepping into something. Every action is causing something to happen, right? An action can be your mouth with words coming out, or simply walking. That's an action. Driving, listening, those are all actions, right? But if you're spending so much time in your head questioning, that is being put out into the collective energy. to say, all right, what if, okay, could I, and if this happens, and now you're putting all these questions up here. So this is the collective energy, and when you're putting it up here, people that are connected to you or even walking by you can say, oh, wow, I'm open, my mind is open, I wasn't thinking anything, I can grab that. Have you ever had a moment where you went to, if you ever worked in an office or a friend's house, you were driving and you're like, man, I'm thirsty. I should have grabbed something before I left, and you get there, before you even say anything, they say, do you want some water? Or here's a bottle of water. Ever had those moments?
No, not that I can think of right off the top of my head.
So we have to get you to be more present as well. Because when we're just existing, you're missing everything. And it's kind of sad, because when you're fully aware, when I say present, people don't understand that sometimes. Aware, but it's not about what's outside of you. It's all about what's inside of you. So if you were fully aware of how you're feeling in those moments, like driving, going, I'm really thirsty, and then like, what? That just happened. Then you're fully aware that you were already saying it, wanting it, and then you made it happen before you got to the office or your friend's house, right? Someone who's just existing, I'm just driving, I gotta get there, all right, gotta think about my deadline, gotta think about what I'm wearing, okay, what's gonna happen? All those questions in your head is not making room for all of the answers you want, for the questions you're already suffocating your head with. Does that make sense? Okay. So bringing you back to present means listening more, getting out of your head, and being fully aware of how your body is feeling in any setting, every moment, all the time. It is a lifestyle. So bringing you from just existing to thriving and being fully aware changes your entire life. You start attracting the things that you're saying you want. You can have just a simple thought and let it go, and then all of a sudden, whoa, it can happen. Life is like that. But all this other stuff you're doing, all the questioning, all the fear you're creating, is putting this big barrier of not being able to bring forth with ease the things you say you desire. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little doubt there?
No, it makes sense.
Okay. So, get out of your head.
Okay.
Just stop thinking about things, because it's going to work out. Now, if you're I see you typing, I gotta put this proposal, gotta do this next video, or whatever it is, right? I understand being in the moment and concentrating in that, but once you step away, you don't have to concentrate in that anymore.
Right.
You've already put the energy of success in it, but if you're already questioning, doubting, you're putting the energy of fear in it. It will be seen and felt through any video, any email, any phone calls, if you're already doing that energy, right? It's a big thing, so we have to change what type of energy you are putting in things. That's why I tell people, if you're writing an email, don't write it with anger. Don't write it with despair or frustration, because what will happen is people will read and say, damn, what's going on with her, right? And you're just saying, I'm hoping that things work out. And they're like, why, and they're picking it up. So go in something, especially when you're throwing energy into it, emails, phone calls, videos, that you're doing it with the highest purpose of giving, of the excitement of doing it and wanting it. The most interesting thing is I was super excited about this all day long. Like, this is going to be amazing. And sometimes I'm not that excited about being a guest on certain podcasts. It depends on the person, but I cocoon my energy. I'm like, no, this is going to be the best thing ever. And then knowing that I'm doing that will fill the room with positivity, will show that whoever's watching the video is going to be receiving this in the best possible light.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So for shoulders, it's a perception of burden. Perception of burden. Left side mom, right side dad. Left side feminine, right side masculine. So I'm feeling there's something right here, like you are just like, hanging on to it. It's a seed about that big, so about the size of a quarter, right? Right where my thumb is on your shoulder. And so a perception of burden, and this is dad, can be where you needed him at a certain time and he forgot, or he got distracted, or work ended up taking him away from his promise to not accept. And as a child, we all end up just accepting, because within the four walls, this is what our caregivers told us, and we know nothing else. They could be lying to us like I don't know what, or making false promises, and then we keep getting set up for failure, because that's what they're doing, setting the child up for failure, right? Instead of telling the truth or holding off when they're making a promise, following through with the promise, right? And so now you've experienced things that you were, because I keep seeing this pumping with your hand, like, did you find when you were little, did you move your hands around a lot?
I'm pretty sure that's mine. Yeah, it's an anxious tick. I mean, I think I still do it.
Okay, so yes, the answer is yes. Okay, perfect, because I can see you're trying to, like, okay, am I gonna do this? I feel excitement, but building up with, and then you just let it go. Like, I could feel the build up and then I just let it go. Meaning, you already know he's not gonna be there, you said, right? But the hope of desire, because kids will see their parents at certain events. You might have a couple of girlfriends and the dad is always showing up, and you're like, inside, man, I wish mine was here. But you don't say it. You don't have that exact sentence in your head. It's the feeling of disappointment, a longing, right? A longing to have. You have longing. I can feel that as soon as I said that.
Mm-hmm.
The longing of being able to fill that void of feeling like you had and could have had a father that was there for the baby girl, like to hold the hand or to be there and clap while you're on the stage with, whatever it is, the school play. Were you ever in a school play? I just saw.
I was in, I think so.
Yeah, I just saw the stage and you were in a school play, and I saw the kids. They were fairly small, so probably more like 8, 9, 8. That would have been second grade. Little play, where they come in with the, we are lions,
Oh wait, which
tigers,
grade?
and bears.
Okay,
grade.
that's actually really funny. No, my cousin, when she was in high school, she was doing a school play, and they asked me, since I was like little, if I'd be like a munchkin or something.
There you go. I picked it up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I saw you. I saw the stage. I saw you little. So, but to have that parent, any parent for that matter, but to have the dad going, yeah, that's my girl up there, and then for him not to be present, that we can say you accepted unacceptable behavior, meaning he's not here to love me. He's not here to see how I want to feel important and be seen, and any kid wants to feel that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you just got to the point where you just accepted unacceptable behavior. He's not going, he's not there. Well, I'll just do it for myself, mom, the other kids. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna force myself to have fun. I feel like you emotionally I know I'm on this one. Emotionally disconnected from him so you would stop being hurt. But having that longing is a space of unfulfilled dreams. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know it's in you, and I know you're holding it back, because I can see it in your eyes.
I don't know. I think that there's just so much like hate that I can't remember a time like where I would have been like, oh yeah, I wish you would have been there. Like, no, it's
Yeah. Well, again, I'm working in the subconscious, and I had to remind you of the munchkin moment, even though I saw it, right?
Yeah.
But your subconscious is telling me the things that I'm picking up. Hate is such a strong emotion that can also hold you back from being able to succeed when masculine energy is present. And masculine energy can also be in a female body, a woman who's very dominant, leadership role, stage presence, that kind of thing. That's that dominant masculine coming through a female body, right?
Mm.
But when you have hate toward the and I'll just say, because little children, that's my prince, that's my king, that's my God, you know, that, because that's like, oh, he's there. And then over time, being disappointed and disappointed and disappointed, I can feel like every time I say it, I get a stab in my back. So you were stabbed in your back every time that you were hoping, or, you know, can he do it? Will he do it? And then just being more, that stab is more angry, more angry, more angry to the point. And so that built up is like, I can't see anything else but the anger that I have.
Okay.
That makes sense now. Okay. When I first work with people, what can happen is they're looking in their brain for a specific moment in time that says, that's why I hate him. And it's not like that. For you, it was gradual, because to use hate is a buildup of such despair, you know? And I can use that word because I'm talking to your child. I'm not talking to your adults person right here, Samantha. I'm talking to the little girl who really desired and wanted to have a dad more present, more caring, more showing caring, showing love, showing attention, you know. And attention could simply just be looking at you in your eyes and saying, how was your day, baby? You know, come over here, give me a hug, or I'm gonna come to you and give you a hug. You see? And when you don't have that interaction and you're feeling like, man, he's constantly setting me up for failure, meaning it's the feeling. Because I want you to think about what a child would be thinking, not what you are thinking now as an adult, because you're an overthinker. You know, you are. So going back and saying, yeah, when I can think about that childhood, there were so many episodes that I just stopped thinking about him altogether. I just like, off with his head. You see how that, you know what I'm saying about now? Okay. Okay, now you get it. Okay, I just want to make sure you're on the same page with me. Okay. Your hip is a little out of whack. Do you feel like every once in a while you're gonna like a
Sometimes I get stuck, yeah.
Okay, there it is. There it is. I can see the way you're laying on the bed. And it's always how anybody can lay on the bed. You could wear shoes that are not, the laces aren't tied, and it's telling me you don't like to be tied down. But look at how you're literally lopsided.
Oh, interesting.
Your whole hip is up. And it just shows me every time somebody lays and you're really out of alignment. But that's a physical alignment as well, right? But also not being supported on the dad's side.
Okay.
Hips represent support. So that's why you get tweaked every once in a while on this hip.
Okay.
The body responds to what your family or your life history is and was, and even going forward. So if you're an overthinker, you might end up getting pains in your lower back, because life is a pain in the butt. So that's why we have to get you out of your head. But then you have this fear, if I don't think it through, I have to have control. I have to, then what you're doing is you're slowing down the flow of what you want the end result to be. Do you understand that? Okay. Relax. So that is a control mechanism. So when I picked up your arm, some people will just let me do whatever I want, but you were already holding it. I see that with a lot of people. And so that instantly tells me you do have a very strong control mechanism. You got to get things done. You want it to be the right way. You want it to, you know, and that could be also your career where you have deadlines, you want it to be, you have to do all these things, but you have to trust more. And when you had a parent who you couldn't trust, then that's where you turned up the volume to control what you want to create and project. Does that now make sense?
Yes.
All right. Good. You know, a part of your body is telling me when I first started putting my thumb here on your hand, I could see a boxing glove.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had an image of like the punching.
There you go. So
Oh, that's
we're on the
interesting.
same connection there.
Yeah.
But when I asked you to relax, your arms started relaxing and I could feel very tired. So you're tired of holding on to some of this anger and frustration and gotta fight through things. No one has to fight to get things. They just trust and love and be connected to source energy, God, whatever you want to label it. I'll just call it God or higher self, whatever. But it causes a person to hold on your control mechanism, right? So look at it as like, and I'll put that on pause. You have a stream that's flowing. So if you're going to control, so let's say the stream is flowing of energy and you control, a log comes down into the stream. You're trying to stop the flow of that energy. That's with you controlling. I don't want it to be that way. Boom, log comes down. The energy is still going to flow, but now it's going to flow around the log. Then it could go to the right direction, right? Meaning, yeah, it could go in the direction you want it to be, or it could go in another direction and take you a whole much longer, like a whole hell of a long time to get to your end result. And then you get even more frustrated. Why does this take so long? Why can't I get to my end result quicker? There's where you're starting to question why? And that why is a disconnect from source energy. Look at it as you pulling your energy into a cocoon. I have to control this. I have to do it my way. I have to get this done. Nobody was, I know I can do it faster. I'm better. I just got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of saying, I know I'm fully connected. I know that source has got my back at all times. I know that I can focus, get it done, and voila, everything that I want is happening for me. But if you're not living in the space of saying, I know, K-N-O-W, things are happening for me, then you're always going to cocoon and it's going to take a whole lot longer. You're going to be frustrated on why it's taking so long. And you're going to get disillusioned if you're going in the right direction. Is this for me? Should I keep doing it? And then that's where the doubt creeps in. Spot on, huh? Yeah. Relax. And the first thing you're going to tell me, I'm trying to relax. It's so hard. It's not hard. You just have to trust to let go. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Trusting is the number one thing someone who has a massive control mechanism. I used to. And it's practice. I mean, it could take you 3 to 6 months, closer to 6 months for you, but you have to say, I am going to trust no matter what. I know there's so many things that you want to accomplish, things you haven't even thought of yet, but they're going to start coming at you. And the more you control, the more you stay in the space that you've created with this control, you're going to be questioning a lot of things. Why did I do it? What? And when I heard why, you get very self-destructive and resonate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a recent conversation.
Interesting. The biggest thing for you, Samantha, is I could tell you stories about you all day long. But unless you can recall it and go, oh yeah, that's why I was angry, or oh, that's why I was happy, or oh, you're going to continue to live in the space you're living in. And I would hate to see that happen for you. You're a very productive young woman who really has passion. And the passion to help, the passion to succeed, the passion to be a trailblazer. Let's use that word, right? However, if you're not going to begin to trust, and there's such emotion, if you're not going to begin to trust beyond what your body is feeling, is knowing, you have to trust source, you have to trust. But when you have that hate toward that caregiver, then the doubt of why God, there's a lot of crying in that one. Why, God, did I have to deal with him? Why was I given him? Why can't he see that I'm a good girl? Why? And here you are as an adult, the why. Why can't I have this? Why can't I do that? Why can't I? You have to eliminate why out of your vocabulary. Because if you ask me, Terry, why is the sky blue? And I'll say, the angels touch the clouds. It's an opinion. That's why you'll never get the answer of why from God. You will get an answer of how, what, where, who. So eliminate why, because that can give you 1,000 different answers, and it's only going to increase your frustration in life. Yeah. I'll put my hand on your hip here, okay? Actually, I'm gonna move your legs over. I'm trying to bring your, and there, I want you to, there. That's what I was trying to do. Can I even you out? You're still lopsided. That's okay. That's all right.
Broken.
No. So you just told me something that you have to be really careful for. Is that when you're speaking the I am, you're stating that's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're owning it. So even though you might have responded just by me moving you around and it might have been a joke or whatever, but you're putting it out there. And so now you just threw it here and it's going to sit here and somebody's going, oh, she's broken, so we can take advantage of her. And so everything you say should be very positive toward yourself, right? I'm in the process of healing. Doesn't that sound better than what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm always in the process of better and better every day. Physical, emotional, and spiritual. Every day. Yeah, it's time for you to love you. And then it's like, it just comes out to everyone around you. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go. It just went down, and I felt this, like it hit a pillow.
Yeah.
Came back
I
up.
think I felt that.
Yeah, can be so subtle. You have heard so much from so many people that you're overwhelmed with hearing anything else from other people. Meaning this ear chakra is so full, it's like massive with the energy, that it's like, I don't know if I want to hear one more thing. And I don't feel like you've closed the ear chakra because it is still open,
Mm-hmm.
but you're overwhelmed or too much of what you have heard from others can be conflicting to what you want or desire or think things through. Would you resonate with that?
Yes.
Okay. And so that can also cause a lot of doubt. Am I going in the right direction? Am I making the right decisions? Because someone who's already in their head is already doubting. Someone who already has a parent who, they're like, ugh, shut that door and seal it with cement. That, there's a lot of doubt with God, which makes you say I have to do more things for myself. And there's such emotion around that. Like, I'm tired. Why can't this be easy? Resonate with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have tonsillitis before?
It was so much.
Yeah, I can pick it up right in here. There's a lot of bacteria feeling.
Oh, like right now?
No. Everything I...
No, not the gallery.
So everything I'm picking up is energy. So it can be past, I can pick up, broken bones, I can pick up, like I picked up the braces from the the jaw area. I picked up the tonsils and like I can feel it and it was like, and it was big. So it was telling me it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I had it a lot when I was little.
Okay, so, and that's the remnants of what I'm picking up, that's all. So I'm not saying you have it now. You have some old patterns in your third eye. The third eye is intuition, trusting.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel this creakiness. That tells me it's just old patterns.
Okay.
So, being able to trust is not questioning or doubting. So we're shifting you to trust more. What do you want to call it? Source, universe, God, what do you want to call it?
No, God, that makes me cringe.
Yeah, I already figured that out.
I don't know. I guess I haven't put thought to it.
Interesting. So everything I've been saying is so spot on, it's crazy. Because in what you are living, you are just existing, my love.
Okay.
We don't want you to exist. We want you to thrive. We want you to live more deeply, live more boldly. And you'll get in the car, I am. But the fact is, you're not, based on what I'm already picking up in your energy and your responses.
Okay.
You're not broken. It's just what you experienced in your four walls and what you chose that's still in that subconscious. The subconscious is ruling your life. Even though you're saying, well, I had that thought, I took an action on it. But as I was stating before we even started, that you can have an interaction with a girlfriend and all of a sudden you're like, I don't like what she's saying. And then she triggered you by something she said, even it could be the word or how it was coming out. It's the feeling that bubbled up, right? But because you have such a control mechanism, you're not trusting beyond what you say you're creating on your own. So, when I use the word God, it's nothing about religious or the Bible, it's nothing. It's the universe, where we come from. It's that all-encompassing energy. But when you're set up like you have been in your childhood, then it's that anger that we have that can be generated and created toward that all-encompassing energy. And that's where the why creeps in. Does that make sense now?
Yes.
It doesn't make you weak, sweetie. You're actually a very dominant, strong individual. And by being able to let go of the control, which is going to be a lot of practice, then you're going to find that life really is worth thriving over. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I see you driving. That's telling me you feel like you're in the driver's seat. I've got my left hand on your crown, and the right there at the occipital bone, right?
Mm.
So the crown is your full connection to source, higher self, light, love, right?
Mm.
But if you're in the driver's seat, your connection is going to be really weak. Want me to go into detail about that, or do you understand what I just said?
I understand.
Okay. So I want to give you a tip. When you get out of bed, don't get out of bed until you become more aware of how your body is feeling. And instead of saying when you wake up, I'm tired, I want you to say, I am fully rested. And then when you flip your legs out of the bed, what foot hits the floor first? And then, is that the pattern of always the right foot, right? And then, when you're walking to the bathroom, how does your feet feel on the floor? Are you going from heel to toe, toe to heel? Do you feel like the right side of your right foot has more pressure than the left? If you truly practice what I just told you, you will immediately become more aware. You will become more aware of how your body's feeling, of what is going on around you. It is a very simple process, but you have to do it. If you really want to make some changes in your life, you have to do it. And it can be as simple as becoming more aware. And that little process is massive. Okay? And it's not occasionally, it's every single time. You are very impatient. I can see your fingers doing the, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can run, girl, but you can't hide from me.
I'm scared.
So I see a brick wall in front of your heart, but I see that like an interaction with someone could knock one of the, like flick a brick out of it, and it doesn't have to be on the end, it could be in the center, or, you know, and I saw someone flick one of the bricks off of your heart. So it's telling me that you've built up a protection of saying, I'm not going to be hurt again. Dad energy, right?
Mm.
I'm not going to be hurt. I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be blah, 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 right? But you're in life, living life, saying, I'm protected in my heart, but I could have an interaction with my girlfriend and she just flipped one of those bricks off. Yes, I feel love, right?
Yeah.
But that brick wall is still solid. Even though one brick was flipped off, another interaction will happen and you put the brick back in. And so what a lot of people do is that they'll get hurt somewhere in life. Usually it's childhood, usually it's a caregiver, and they'll overprotect their heart. And so what they're saying is, I'm going to protect myself from being hurt again. But they're also keeping out what it is they want in,
Mm-hmm.
which is love. Yeah?
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you drink a lot of a dark fluid?
A dark fluid?
Yeah, it's either
Recently.
yeah, I just saw that. Don't do it.
I know.
Yeah, it's not good for you. You having a pain in the center of your back? Spine wise?
Yeah, in between the shoulder blades.
Yeah. You like to talk? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot of this energy in your throat moving around a lot, so it's telling me you like to talk. That's good. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. You've learned to silence yourself. Meaning if you're upset, you'll silence that emotion, those words. Don't show them your weakness. Meaning if you're upset or want to cry, or you've learned to silence yourself. Does that resonate?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Do you have any final questions for me, sweetie?
I don't think so.
How you feeling?
Relaxed.
Yeah. Definitely hold your emotions, that's for sure.
How am I supposed to
How you're supposed to feel.
feel?
Exactly how you're supposed to feel. It's not about me having you feel a certain way. It's about how your body is feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm done.
Okay. Well, there we go.
If you liked what you heard today, hit that like button, or the subscribe button, or whatever button it is that you have.
Just hit it. To continue this conversation with us, join the Skirts Up Show on what is it again?
Well, we have Facebook, we have YouTube,
And Pinterest.
and no, we do not have a Pinterest, but we have Instagram.
You knew what I meant. Rate and review. Rate and review.